Jackson Pollock is known for his drip paintings, but he began his path towards abstraction with realistic representation. He was guided by an American regionalist artist, and painted landscapes and figures. His style consisted of centrifugal composition and distorted subject matter treated with sinewy, muscular plasticity. These expressive qualities foreshadowed his unfettered processes, as seen in his symbolic phase. His subject matter became more abstract, resembling totemic and skeletal figures, veiled with lines and shapes. Some say he was influenced by an interest in animistic connection prevalent in American Indian art, while others point his stylistic shift to Jungian psychology, which was used to treat his alcoholism issue. The gestural qualities became more unrestrained under the influence of surrealist automatism, leading to his drip painting phase. Away from the city, he attuned himself to the rhythmic seasonal changes in nature, creating brilliant networks of lines dancing across the canvas. Pollock is free from the shackles of reality, unleashing his inner reality for the world to see. In his earlier works, Pollock drew directly from the oil tube onto the canvas. His mural work was completed overnight, as he used his entire arms and body to make broad and swift gestures, amplifying the spontaneity and speed employed to complete such a monumental work. In his later works, Pollock would lay an unprimed and unstretched canvas on the floor. Then he would use sticks, trowels and knives to pour oil, enamel or aluminium paint without touching the canvas. In a highly energetic and trance-like manner, he stepped towards or onto the canvas, slinging and dripping paint at rapid speed, creating squiggles and splatters. He considered the viscosity of each paint, as it influenced his speed and direction of pouring paint in a varied yet consistent manner. He danced around the borders of the canvas, organically creating controlled accidents that echo the beauty and rhythm of Mother Nature. Some works were scattered with nails, tacks and cigarettes, and one of them has a figure cut out splattered with colorful paint. Pollock would then trim the canvas that captures the utmost concentration and tension of paint, emphasizing his consideration for composition. Pollock wanted to express his inner reality, where inner forces, energy and motion are in flux. This desire mirrored the rise of European abstract art, that aimed to reflect the individual artist's inner emotions rather than objective reality. The automatic surrealist made seemingly random gestural marks without conscious thinking, as they wanted to access the creativity hidden deep within the subconscious, and be free from the rational mind. Pollock shared similar sentiments in his action paintings. He claimed that he wasn't aware of his actions when he painted. He painted to his will, reacting to the marks made on the canvas which guided him what and where to drip next. Painting was also a means to help him cure the inner conflicts he faced, especially his problems with depression and alcoholism. Accessing his subconscious was encouraged by his therapist, who followed Carl Jung's psychoanalysis theories. Jung believed that the layers of unconsciousness influence our irrational behaviors, and accessing them will help us to gain clarity on such actions. The tempestuous web of lines could be records of the inner violence that storm his psyche, and his attempt to take control of them. Pollock also wanted to search for spiritual clarity and enlightenment through his artworks. His agnostic family left him craving for religious fulfillment, and his high school art teacher Frederick Schwankowski filled the void for him. Pollock was exposed to the teachings of Theosophy by Madame Blavatsky and her supposed reincarnation, Krishnamurti. He was taught the intricate links between music, art, human qualities and spirituality, as seen in Schwankowski's color wheel. He was fascinated by the symbolic component of Theosophy, such as the flower, a symbol of rebirth. These esoteric symbols were seen in Pollock's symbolic phase, where the crescent moon-sun disk suggests a harmony of opposites, and the third eye represents enlightened visions. Pollock's spiritual self-discovery is also seen in his drip painting phase, where the dynamic network of lines reflect the circulation of chakra energies, or spiritual energies, learned from yogic and alchemical disciplines. It showcases the constant dialogue of opposites, male and female, sun and moon, light and dark, spirit and matter, as they harmonize into the oneness of creation. In the 1930s, the two dominant art movements in the USA were regionalism and social realism. However, younger artists were unsatisfied with their dated qualities. Influenced by the exodus of European abstract artists and artworks due to World War II, American artists started to redefine the nature of painting by creating art that reflected the modern era. Pollock stressed that the modern painter cannot express his age, the aeroplane, the atom bomb, and the radio using traditional methods. Each age must find its own technique. Together with the rise in American art galleries who demanded more American art that are distinguishable to European art, abstract expressionism was born. There were action painters, who worked with spontaneity to express themselves freely, and color field painters, who used flat colors to induce contemplation and mystic intensity. In the midst of the Cold War, the CIA indirectly influenced abstract expressionism to be lauded as the art of the free world, countering the socialist realism style of communist Russia. It gained international influence and replaced Paris with New York City as the center of the Western art world. Pollock's style had many influences. Joan Miro's biomorphic forms, all-over composition, and shallow pictorial space had a strong influence on Pollock's organic motifs and automatic techniques. Picasso's distortion of space, disfigured faces and intersecting lines are seen in Pollock's, destroying any traditional representation of forms. Mexican mural painter Orozco influenced Pollock to paint on a large scale, and treat subject matter in an ambiguous yet intense manner. They both explore themes of myths and rituals, and Orozco's reference to his ancestors, the Aztec, mirrored Pollock's reference to the artistic rituals of Native Americans. They impressed him with their evocation of nature, where they painted freely, resulting in natural forms imbued with a primal and organic rhythm and energy. They made images by pouring colored sand on the ground, inspiring Pollock to paint on the floor. He also owed his revolutionary techniques to another Mexican painter, Siqueiros, who encouraged him to use revolutionary media such as industrial paint, airbrush and other materials to enliven the picture surface.